So our first client is a company called MYND, and this company is a firm that is a B2B software company that sells software to apartment building owners. And this letter that MYND has been using is a prospecting letter to property owners. And so Julian has lots of thoughts on it. So Julian, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. So, I mean, let me first of all say there are some really good things happening within this letter, but there are also just some small improvements that I feel could make to just work it a little bit hard. And you know, what I've done is I've added some notes around this letter, so such as the opening headline could work a little bit better by utilizing some of the benefits that are actually delivered in the main body text. There's some real key important sales messages in that body text which could just work a little bit harder. The call to action and use of language could just be a little bit stronger. The design construction, as I mentioned earlier, could benefit from a little bit more understanding at a glance. I think that the picture of the gentleman there in the bottom right hand corner is a little bit big. It's taking up too much valuable selling space. And I think sometimes what a lot of people do is just dump social icons down at the bottom of marketing pieces, and I think sometimes it's you know, we've got to give people reasons to follow us on social. What benefits will they get? What's in it for them? What is that innate human desire? What are they going to get? I think the logo area in the top right could be used for better things. So let me just kind of show you the actual redesign of this and just explain some of the things that I've got going on here. So there was a fantastic quote on the MYND website, which you can see there now in the bottom right hand corner. So you can see that immediately when you open this letter, the ident, the logo is at the top left, so there's immediate recognition of who this is. If you go, the eye will then track over to the headline on the right: let our unique knowledge of the San Diego property market generate you the highest possible return. So clearly answering straight away the what's in it for me. The bullets on the right hand side achieve our understand at a glance. So there's a clear reason as to why you should connect with MYND. 1,500 units managed with the help of a handy app, 20% reduction in your repair and maintenance costs, 7-day average time to lease, 0% delinquency, and then a fantastic quote which was on their website. And then the actual letter construction, what we've done is we've moved the gentleman to the actual signatory. They're kind of akin to what you kind of see on LinkedIn. And then the actual copy then focuses on specializing in helping property owners like the recipient get the actual highest possible returns. You know, a little bit of understanding then about having long-term tenancy and reduced overheads being the actual key to maximizing your investment across property, and then focusing on the San Diego knowledge, and then closing. So many people forget the art of closing within a letter. So I'd very much love to hear about your challenges you are facing, or simply discuss how I feel I could help benefit you. So again, if you have a look through there, there's your, you. We've got lots of uses of the word you in there as well. And then down at the very bottom, let's give them a reason to follow us on social media. So for the latest views and news on property in San Diego, please follow. So therefore, there's a reason to control. So what we've got there is just a simple little design, construction techniques, a little bit more understand at a glance techniques to just create a simpler, more powerful and easily understood mailing.
Boy, that redesign, Julian, really draws my eye. You know, I think the other one was an effective letter, but this really sort of informs me so quickly what the real benefits of MYND are. And, you know, the other thing, I think you actually have more copy and more benefits here, but it feels like it has more white space. So it feels like they can breathe a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dennis. I don't think that in the original there's any mention of the the Handy app, which is a real kind of key selling tool for MYND. And you're right, there's a number, the 17-day and the 0% delinquency. We have actually managed to squeeze in more key sales messages, but actually make it feel just a little bit easily digestible.
You know, one of the things that we see quite a bit of is marketers really want to say a lot, and it often feels like the pieces that are generated are really overwhelmed with copy, and you know, this sort of design construction that you've put together, I think, allows that to the marketer to really tell the story and describe the benefits, but not overwhelm the eye. So the next client that offered up their creative is a company called Toast. And Toast is a Boston-based restaurant point-of-sale software company that is absolutely exploding. They're growing incredibly rapidly all around the country. Their promise is to simplify operations by combining point-of-system, front-of-house, back-of-house, and guest-facing technology on a single platform. And so their goal was to reawaken some cold leads that were in their HubSpot database, and they wanted to capture and get them to respond. They'd gone quiet on email. And so Toast sent out a 6x11 postcard through Postalytics that looked like this.
Yeah, so on this one, I mean, there were actually some really good things happening in here as well. I just felt that it just needed a little bit more nuances kind of putting in. I think the front of the mailing was lacking a little bit of structure in its design. I felt, you know, the fact that Toast didn't have a URL on the actual front of the mailing was a little bit of a missed opportunity. I think the use of the testimonial on the back was good, but it just felt a little bit lost. The position of the call to action again felt like it wasn't in the right position. I think the introduction header felt like it could be more enticing, and the use of the subheads was good, but I think the actual kind of structure of the sales copy could just benefit from being a little bit more benefit-led. It just felt like it was very much just talking about the features of Toast rather than actually relating it back to what actually it could do for people as well. So I think if we go into the redesign, so what I've done is brought through a more powerful header onto the front, increase your revenue and delight your guests to increase repeat visits with Toast. So a real benefit-led message there. And then, did you know loyal repeat customers generate 10 times more revenue than new customers? That was a fact that Toast really kind of championed, and I thought was really good. I think the URL now appearing under the logo on the front cover works better. Although I couldn't find the actual image on the actual original, but I do think that image is really good anyway. And then what I'd done on the actual reverse was just structure the copy a little bit sweeter. So discover the easy to use technology that's revolutioning restaurants like yours and delighting customers like yours. So really kind of using that you and yours there, and actually then let's position Toast as a real passionate believer in making restaurants succeed. So that introductory copy there, it talks about Toast's passion. So at Toast, we're passionate about great restaurants and helping restaurants like yours be the first pick when it comes to diners choosing where to eat. That's why we've developed an easy to use technology to aid establishments like yours run smoothly and maintain customer satisfaction through easy to use Android software, inbuilt loyalty program, Toast guest feedback, monitoring your restaurants from anywhere, and building a guest database to essentially encourage and capture those most important loyal customers and get them coming back. And then that leads us all the way down to a call to action, which we've kind of used a little bit of language there to kind of just tease that. This is just there's so much more that Toast can do for you, and giving people a reason to utilize that QR code. And then the actual toast kind of quote that we found on the website there. We've just tweaked slightly. We found a more powerful quote there. With Toast Go, we found that our turn times dropped away from 30 to 45 minutes per table. We're running an additional 500,000 in sales. Really kind of powerful tool. Quote that I just felt just needed just to be brought up bigger.
That's great. You know, one of the things that automation of direct mail is enabling is the use of direct mail for campaigns that are designed to work a little bit further down in the funnel than pure lead gen acquisition and prospecting that has been traditionally the role of direct mail. And so, you know, we often see mailers like this going out to folks that have been in email marketing campaigns and have gone quiet, as this one was designed for. And, you know, you can see that some of these techniques that you're talking about here could be also deployed in emails and in landing pages. This particular mailer is in your redesign is really kind of pushing people to go to that landing page. And maybe we could talk a little bit about some of the techniques that you can expand upon while you're online or in other media that can leverage something like this in a direct mail campaign.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'm always a big advocate of is ultimately any marketing materials that we do are ultimately judged on response. So, you know, we should always kind of make it easier for recipients to respond in any way. So QR codes, I'm big advocate of, you know, personalized URLs, but equally as well, I'm also a believer in the more ways that we can give people to respond, the better. So, you know, not just URLs, let's give them phone numbers, let's give them, you know, short codes for texting, etc. as well. So, you know, looking at how we can add more and more call to action elements and giving people more options of how to respond, I always feel is a massive benefit.
Great. So our next set of creative is from a customer called Board Vitals. And what Board Vitals does is they provide examination preparation materials for medical professionals. And so they help people that are preparing for licensing and certification exams get ready for those very difficult and challenging tests. They cover more than 50 specialty areas and exams. And the piece that we're going to take a look at is prospecting for new graduates with a 6x9 postcard. And so here it is.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, you know, this was a piece that we enjoyed looking at, because I think there's so many good things going on in this piece, but actually it's just moving the boxes around to a certain degree on these. I thought the headline was strong, but I think it just needed probably a stronger testimonial to really kind of add weight to that one. I think the overall design of the mailing could just do with some work, and I felt the shot on the left actually could benefit from a technique that I haven't spoken about yet, but I'll cover off now. Is something called direct gaze, and that's the idea that ultimately as human beings we're attracted to other human beings' faces. So I'll show you shortly how that affects, but I think the call to action area there could just use some strengthening. I think the you know, again, we're looking at that, why should we follow them on Twitter and LinkedIn, etc. as well. And I think, you know, the copy in the reverse really does a good job of showcasing what Board Vitals do, but I actually felt that the actual copy should probably be a bit longer, because usually what we're dealing with people of things, target audience of Board Vitals, is more educated, more you know, higher intelligent people who are used to reading and want to know more information. So I felt that we could just give them a little bit more information, which if we switch to the redesign, you can see here that how I've used direct gaze here to really draw somebody in. So pass your ABFM, Family Medicine Board Exam, guaranteed. Bringing that right underneath with the actual offer, with the offer code, but see how then I bring through the rule of 3 onto the actual trusted and developed and proven results with ticks across them to kind of, really kind of affirm them. I've just strengthened the little call to action and just brought the logo into a clear area and a website on them. And then on the actual reverse, I've really ramped up this message of join 100,000 plus practitioners that use Board Vitals to prepare for the most important exams of their career. So let's use a little bit of crowd psychology. People are more likely to perform an action if they know that lots of other people have gone before them. And then what I've done within the copy, I've just lengthened it slightly, but pulled out some real key sales points. So trusted by over 100,000 practitioners, 500 top class institutions, expert content online 24/7, 365. And then to find out how Board Vitals can help you pass your board exams guaranteed, visit boardvitals.com or call this number. And then on the right hand side there, the actual quotation: most comprehensive online board review resource, numerous special I've ever seen, excellent quality and quantity of questions available. Wish I had this sooner. And actually, let's put somebody's name underneath there, Dr. Gary Choi there from the radiology. So just using a little bit more words on there, but some clearer signposting with the offer code, really making that stand out to get the sign-ups on there as well, and using some crowd psychology and direct gaze and the rule of 3 there to just make this work a little bit harder.
That's great, Julian. So one of the things that stands out to me about this is, the use of that really centrally located call out with 20% off with a promo code on both the front and the back. And, we process a lot of postcards, and one of the things that we like to really advise folks to do is to really think about the location of that call to action and use both sides of the postcard to do that. And really kind of, you can center a lot of your design around the call to action like you've done here.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that we're looking at here as well is the irregular shape of that box as well. There's no other shape similar to that on that actual page. The use of the orange there as well, it's picked out of the Board Vitals logo, so it really kind of feels on brand, but very kind of, it gives people a good offer without feeling too salesy, keeps it on brand, but really kind of achieves that standout without damaging the actual Board Vitals brand reputation.